Welcome to Catch Them Young Mission Nigeria. I am Monye Christian. Today on Catch Them Young Mission Nigeria, we'll be looking at hyperstimulation, a critical factor causing the poor performance and examination failure among students today. What necessitated this topic is the recent worrisome published JAMB results. Like someone noted on the social media after seeing the JAMB result, and they said, who is to be blamed for this poor performance? Is it the student? Is it the teacher? Is it the parents or the government? Or all of the above? Well, we at Christian Parenting International have identified hyperstimulation as a critical factor that caused the poor performance and examination failure among students. Before we dive into what is hyperstimulation, I want to announce that Christian Parenting International has decided to launch an academic development training program to help curb the poor performance and examination failure among students. This recently published JAMB result is just a pointer to the state of our students and the decline in performance and the poor state of our educational system. But we believe that this academic development training program will be a solution to this poor performance and examination failure among students. What is hyperstimulation? Hyperstimulation is one of the main challenges affecting academic performance and the behavior of the 21st century child. Hyperstimulation is a chronic stress on the brain of the child as a result of using phone devices or staying on the screen. Phones make a child's brain to be stimulated to the degree of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And the symptoms of these stimulations are usually memory loss and forgetfulness among students. This is how serious the challenge of hyperstimulation can cause for a child. But note, when the child drops the phone, the brain needs 7 days to get out of hyperstimulation. Now, let's see 4 things that happen when the brain is hyperstimulated. The first is very short attention span. 15 minutes, the student or the child is distracted. Anything you are teaching or they are learning after then, it's like pouring water on the rock or the stone. This has greatly impacted learning among students. The second is inability to plan. When the brain is hyperstimulated, a child suffers from inability to plan. Why is this dangerous? According to Benjamin Franklin, if you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. And the third thing that happens when the brain is hyperstimulated is the inability to see the future. When the future is not in view, people become mediocre and settle for anything available. While the fourth thing and the most important thing that happens when the brain is hyperstimulated is it destroys the function of the frontal lobe of the brain. When the brain is hyperstimulated, it sends a message to the front of the brain and destroys all the frontal lobe functions, which include one, memory. This is why children or students can't remember anything learned or read. This is often the major reason for memory loss and forgetfulness. The second function and ability that is destroyed is planning. The third is learning center. The fourth is decision making. The fifth is ability to reason or reasoning or problem solving ability. The sixth is social interaction ability. The seventh is impulse or self-control, and many more are destroyed. Now, let's see the solution or recommended solution for hyperstimulation. As a parent, you either choose your child's academic performance or the phone. For the students, you either choose your academics, your future, or the phone. What am I saying in a nutshell? A student has no business with a smartphone. The consequences are more than the benefits for a student. You know, when parents hear, remove the smartphone from your child, they say, how will they be communicating with them? My suggestion is buy them an analog phone. That will be sufficient for calls and SMS. I know it is better said than done. I know it is not easy to remove the smartphone they've been using for a while. But because of hyperstimulation, you should. But before you do, discuss with them. Tell them the consequences of hyperstimulation and agree with them. The worrisome aspect of this is when the child drops the smartphone, the brain needs 7 days to get out of hyperstimulation. This is critical. This leaves every student with no option than to limit the use of the smartphone or get rid of it. It is difficult, I know, but until we remove smartphones from our students, academic performance will continue to nosedive because of hyperstimulation. This is where we bring this Catch Them Young mission broadcast on hyperstimulation and its role in poor performance and examination failure among students to a close. Feel free to reach out to us if you are interested in partnering with us as a school, as an individual, as an NGO in our academic development training program. On behalf of Christian Parenting International CPI, we say thank you for watching and see you in the next broadcast.